Arcturian group message via Marilyn Raffaele. March 12, 2023. Dear readers, welcome once again to our message, a message meant to offer hope, information, deeper spiritual awareness, and a fuller understanding of what you personally and the world in general may be experiencing at this time. These are troubling times throughout the world, but change and discord are inevitable as many commonly accepted beliefs begin to crumble in order to make room for a new world consciousness, one that serves all, and not just a select few. Change is difficult because the ideas, concepts, and beliefs that created and continue to sustain ideas of separation continue to resonate as reality for many. You were aware of what this particular lifetime on Earth would involve: clearings, discords, change, etc., before incarnating, but eagerly and lovingly chose to come in order to assist and be a part of the process. Upon arriving, growing up, being taught, and continually subject to the three-dimensional world, you forgot who you really were and aligned with the three-dimensional belief system. However, since an attained level of consciousness cannot regress, the state of consciousness you arrived with has never been lost, just forgotten for a while. The reason so many young people are presently struggling is that they are old souls unable to relate to a world that many of them evolved beyond in previous lives. They were anxious to play a part in the ascension process, but once in dense earth energy forgot why they came. Many of them cannot relate to what the third-dimensional belief system considers important and real. Because of their physical immaturity, they believe themselves to be odd, different, and weird, and that something must be wrong with them because so much of what those around them consider important they often find to be silly, obsolete, useless, and unreal. It is imperative to understand that everyone's consciousness, which in reality is the one divine consciousness individualized, automatically attracts and draws to itself whatever energy it vibrates in alignment with. Those who thrive on being a victim of some sort will simply continue to attract experiences of this sort until their state of consciousness evolves beyond whatever beliefs are manifesting. There is no God somewhere punishing and making people suffer. Every person is their own personal creator by virtue of being a full expression of the one creator, God. Long, long ago, before materiality, some souls in their quest for experiences chose to experience being separate from God. The result was that they became lost and trapped in the illusions of separation, creating a collective consciousness based in duality, separation, and two powers, the density of these energies manifesting as material. Most of you were not a part of this long ago experiment, but as you observed these souls fall ever deeper into their own creations, forgetting who they were, many of you chose to help free them and thus began a mission over many lifetimes lived in third-dimensional energy, where you accumulated the energies that you are now clearing. Know that all is proceeding according to plan. Earth is moving slowly but surely toward becoming her real self, which is the expression of a perfect divine idea, even though things do not presently look that way, with all the clearings, shifting, and exposures coming to world awareness at this time. Anxiety and fear are manifesting for many at this time. It is important not to claim them as personally yours and seek ways to treat, release, heal, or fix them. Anxiety and fear have always been a large part of the collective, but there is more receptivity at this time. If you experience anxiety and fear for no particular reason, don't align with it, but rather simply and without resistance acknowledge it for what it is: thoughts, ideas, beliefs, concepts floating universally in the collective. Free will allows every person to accept the contents of the collective as being real and personally theirs, or to see these things for what they really are. And without giving them power, move on. The only permanent and real qualities anyone can ever have are God qualities. When you feel anxiety, fear, or other negative emotions, center yourself in truth, knowing that God alone is power, law, and reality, regardless of outer appearances. Take time often to go within, be still, and align with who you really are in the realization that God never has and never could express itself as anything other than itself, and if fear and anxiety were facets of divine consciousness, they would be forever permanent, held in place by divine law. Love, the energy that connects and flows between all expressions of God, is beginning to unfold more deeply across the world. Weather-related events, war, and violence is serving to open the hearts of many who heretofore have lived happily and comfortably in a sense of separation. Those continuing to believe themselves to be better than others and therefore more entitled and deserving of the world's money, goods, respect, and honor, etc., are going to discover that, like it or not, all are connected. Three-dimensional experiences form a perfect evolutionary path for those living fully in three-dimensional consciousness. As a person begins to open to truth and attains a higher level of awareness, difficult three-dimensional experiences decrease because they are no longer creating them. In spite of appearances, know that there are no accidents. Before incarnating, every person chooses with the help of their guides the experiences they believe necessary for their spiritual growth. Spiritual evolution is the underlying goal of all earthly experiences, regardless of how they may appear, because every person is knowingly or unknowingly working toward attaining a consciousness of reality and oneness with God. Frequently difficult life lessons involve the energy of past life situations, habits, and beliefs that are still active and being carried from lifetime to lifetime. Energies that need to be once again experienced, acknowledged, consciously risen above, and cleared. For example, a person being somehow persecuted in this life may very well have been the persecutor in one or more previous lives and must personally experience this energy in order to break the cycle. Some of the African American community were slave owners in the past and chose to incarnate with black skin in this life in order to experience, learn, and help change society's prejudicial beliefs. Some women living in and suffering from oppressive male-dominated societies were men who held these same beliefs in past lives. However, know that experiencing one's own past creations is not true in every situation. Many suffering today from prejudice, male dominance, and persecution did not need these experiences for personal growth, but rather specifically and bravely chose them in order to bring change and enlightenment to others. As a person evolves into a consciousness of oneness with Source, many ordinary beliefs, ideas, pleasures, needs, desires, and even problems of the three-dimensional world begin to feel less real, less important, and less attractive because the person has shifted out of alignment with them. Many of you may be experiencing this now, a sense of detachment from what the world considers important and necessary. There is nothing wrong with you, you are simply graduating. The outer world with all its physical, emotional, and mental pain looks, feels, and acts very real because you have had hundreds of lifetimes in which you became increasingly conditioned by experiences of duality and separation. The frequencies of a conditioned consciousness cannot align with the higher, lighter frequencies of truth now flowing to Earth and into the collective. Anyone choosing to be a part of the new Earth must be able to align with it. There is no unexpressed consciousness. Divine consciousness is, always has, and will forever continue to express itself in and as infinite form and variety. Ideas, creativity, life. This same one divine consciousness individualized is also expressing. What am I holding as reality in my consciousness? We are the Arcturian group,